In a shocking turn of events just hours ago, the White House dropped a bombshell announcement that's sending waves through the entire country. A new $2,000 stimulus payment is not just on the table, it's already being rolled out. But here's what everyone's missing this time: it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. The president has specifically named certain groups who will get paid first, and the requirements are completely different from any previous stimulus. If you've been struggling to make ends meet, you'll want to hear this, because some Americans could see this money hit their accounts as soon as next month. But there's a catch, and it's one that most news outlets aren't talking about. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly who qualifies, when the money is coming, and most importantly, what you need to do right now to ensure you don't miss out on this critical payment. Hey family, before we dive deeper into this massive announcement, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Let's start with the bombshell that's making headlines. The president just signed an executive order authorizing direct payments of $2,000 to millions of Americans, but this time, the rollout is structured in waves. The first wave, and this is crucial, targets what the administration calls critical impact groups. These include frontline healthcare workers, essential service employees who maintained their positions throughout the pandemic, and households with children under 17 where the primary earner lost employment due to economic conditions. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is something you won't hear on mainstream news: the qualification metrics have been completely revamped. Unlike previous stimulus payments that were primarily based on income thresholds, this new program uses what the Treasury Department calls a multi-factor eligibility matrix. What does this mean for you? Well, it's not just about how much you make anymore, it's about how the economy has directly impacted your household. Think about this for a moment. Have you seen your grocery bills skyrocket over the past year? Are you paying more for gas, utilities, or basic necessities? These factors are now part of the qualification equation. The administration has recognized that raw income numbers don't tell the whole story of financial struggle, and they've adjusted accordingly. Let's break down the first wave of payments, because timing is absolutely crucial here. According to Treasury Secretary's statement just this morning, the initial disbursement is scheduled to begin within the next 30 days. But here's the part that's causing confusion: the payment system is using a new distribution method. Instead of the traditional IRS direct deposit system, they're implementing what they call a smart distribution network. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a smart distribution network, and how does it affect you? This is where things get really interesting. The new system is designed to prioritize households based on real-time economic impact data. It's using advanced analytics to identify who needs the support most urgently. And here's the kicker: it's updating continuously based on changing economic conditions in different regions. Remember those previous stimulus payments where everyone seemed to get their checks at random times? That's not happening this time. The distribution is scheduled by regions and economic zones, with areas experiencing higher unemployment rates and cost of living increases receiving priority status. But don't worry if you're not in a priority zone, I'll explain the complete rollout timeline in just a moment. Here's something that's flying under the radar. The administration has built in what they're calling economic trigger points into this stimulus package. What does this mean? Essentially, if certain economic indicators hit specific thresholds, it could automatically qualify more people for the payment, or even trigger additional rounds of stimulus. This is unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this in previous relief packages. But let's talk about what you really need to know right now. The first wave of payments targets these specific groups: healthcare workers who've been employed in medical facilities for at least 6 months during the past year, essential workers who maintained employment in critical infrastructure sectors, households with children under 17 where the primary income earner experienced at least 8 weeks of unemployment, single parents who've maintained at least part-time employment while managing remote schooling responsibilities. Here's where it gets personal for many viewers. If you fall into any of these categories, you need to take action immediately. The Treasury has set up a new online portal separate from the IRS website where eligible recipients must verify their information. This is crucial, Even if you qualified for previous stimulus payments, you must complete this new verification process. The portal goes live next week, and early verification will be key to receiving your payment in the first wave. But what about everyone else? This is where the wave system comes into play. After the initial distribution to priority groups, the second wave targets what they're calling economic impact zones, areas where the cost of living has increased by more than 8% in the past year. The third wave expands to households experiencing what they term significant financial strain, which includes factors like medical expenses, educational costs, and housing burden. Let's pause for a moment and address something that many of you are probably thinking: this sounds too good to be true. I get it. We've seen promises before. But here's what makes this different: the funding has already been allocated. This isn't a proposal or a bill waiting for approval, this is an active executive order with Treasury backing. The money is there, and the distribution system is being implemented as we speak. Now, let's talk about some crucial details that could affect your eligibility. The income thresholds are different this time. Instead of a hard cutoff at $75,000 for singles and $150,000 for married couples, they're using a sliding scale that takes into account your area's cost of living. This means that someone in San Francisco might qualify with a higher income than someone in rural Kansas, because the system recognizes the vast differences in living expenses across the country. But here's something you absolutely need to know: there's a verification requirement that wasn't present in previous stimulus programs. The Treasury is requiring proof of economic impact. This could be documentation of increased living expenses, medical bills, or evidence of income reduction. Don't worry, I'll explain exactly what documents you need and how to submit them in just a moment. Here's another critical piece of information that's not getting enough attention: this stimulus package includes a retroactive element. If you can demonstrate significant economic hardship dating back to the beginning of 2024, you might qualify for additional support beyond the $2,000 base payment. This is huge, and it's something that most people don't even know about. Let's talk about timing. The first wave of payments is scheduled to begin next month. But here's the strategic element: the Treasury is using a rolling distribution system based on the last 2 digits of recipients' Social Security numbers. This is to prevent system overload and ensure smooth processing. I'll break down the complete schedule in just a moment, but first, let's address some common questions I've been seeing. One of the biggest concerns I'm hearing is about tax implications. Here's the good news: this payment is structured as a tax-free economic impact payment. It won't count as taxable income for 2025, and this is important, it won't affect any other benefits you might be receiving. This includes Social Security, disability, or unemployment benefits. Now, let's discuss what you need to do right now to prepare. First, make sure your direct deposit information is up to date with the IRS. Even though this is a new distribution system, it will cross-reference IRS records for verification. Second, gather documentation of any economic hardship you've experienced since January 2024. This could include utility bills showing increased costs, medical expenses, or proof of income reduction. But here's the most important action item: when the new Treasury portal goes live next week, you need to be ready to verify your information immediately. The system will be processing verifications in the order they're received, so being early could mean the difference between getting your payment in the first wave or waiting for later distributions. Let's talk about some lesser-known aspects of this program that could benefit you. The administration has included what they're calling hardship multipliers. These are additional amounts added to the base $2,000 payment based on specific circumstances. For example, if you're a single parent, if you've experienced medical hardship, or if you've had to reduce work hours to care for family members, you might qualify for these additional amounts. Here's something else that's fascinating about this new program: they've built in what they're calling a community impact provision. This means that if a certain percentage of people in your community qualify for the stimulus, it could automatically trigger eligibility for other residents. The thinking behind this is that when a community is broadly impacted by economic hardship, the effects ripple through the entire local economy. Now, let's address some concerns about fraud prevention. The Treasury has implemented new security measures to prevent the kind of fraud we saw with previous stimulus programs. This means the verification process might take a little longer, but it also means the system is more secure and reliable. As we wrap up, let me give you a quick recap of the most important points. The new $2,000 stimulus payment is being distributed in waves, with priority groups receiving payments first. The qualification criteria are more comprehensive than previous programs, taking into account factors beyond just income. The distribution begins next month, but you need to verify your information on the new Treasury portal as soon as it goes live. Remember, this information is constantly updating, and there might be changes to the implementation process. That's why it's crucial to stay informed. I'll be following this story closely and bringing you updates as soon as they happen. Before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this new stimulus program. Do you think the WAVE system is fair? Will these new qualification criteria better address economic hardship? Drop your comments below and let me know what you think. And if you found this information helpful, please hit that like button and share this video with anyone who might benefit from this information. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell to stay updated on this developing story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.